Asking questions and answering questions. Visualization skills is one of the skill sets that my brand covers. It falls under creativity. It's much more effective to create content in the mind rather than always relying on notes. I released a few videos on my YouTube channel on how I visualize. After I published the videos, I got a question from a follower on Twitter who said that he tried to visualize himself, but it would be blurry. I asked him how he warmed up. And that's when he told me he didn't warm up. I learned that he was trying to visualize himself in 3D imagery, but there were two problems with that. First problem was that he didn't even know how he fully looked. A lot of people do not know how they look. They can identify themselves on a picture, sure, but when asked to close their eyes and reproduce themselves, that's when they're blurry. The second problem was that he was going straight into advanced moves. He couldn't envision a still picture of himself, but he was trying to see himself move. That's like a skinny guy going to the gym to bench 350 pounds, but can't even balance the bar. He asked me for a strategy, so I gave him a strategy. I told him to get a big picture of himself. The face from the picture should be roughly the size of his real face. You can get an image printed like that in any printing office. From there, he should stare at the picture for 15 minutes a day. Just allow the mind to get absorbed in the picture. Over time, he'll be able to recall that image at will. Once he can recall the image from the picture, it fools the subconscious mind into thinking that it's really him. Over time, it will become easier to make the still image move. He wanted to improve his visualization skills very badly because he was in a creative field that required output. So he executed the visualization strategy for 3 months, 15 minutes a day. Afterwards, he said it was much easier to visualize himself with ease. His initial question for asking for a strategy allowed me to engineer a plan that was useful to his life. Answering questions allows you to explain a topic and reveal your inner engineer, as long as you're open to answering questions. I used to get frustrated when people would ask me questions. I thought, really? I explained it so clearly and you still have a question? But that's a good thing. Just like there are good confusions and bad confusions, there are bad questions and good questions. Bad questions are when someone asks, "What's visualization?" Either I didn't explain that well or the other guy has no clue how to use Google. But a question that asks about a specific issue is a phenomenal question because it gets us understanding the subject on an in-depth level. Have you ever wondered what an inventor was? An inventor builds stuff. Duh. Give me a better definition. I'm stuck. I just stop at the building stuff part. An inventor processes new ways of doing things. To get even more specific, they introduce new processes. With this intention, our mind opens. New processes, you say? If you're a subject matter expert who gives a new way to design a speech, then you've just invented a different process. You are an inventor. From explaining a new technique, the polymath becomes an artistic engineer. This is what content is meant to be: innovative ways of doing something, not regurgitating the same crap to get extra retweets. The modern day polymath is centered in their personality. When the personality is the center of gravity, we have a completely different way of looking at things. Let's say others don't jump in your DMs asking you a question. You know who can ask you questions then? Who? You! When you ask yourself questions like, "Is there a better way of doing this?" you often get a better way of doing it. The way the ArmaniTalks brand talks about visualization is not the traditional way it's discussed. Normally, when people are talking about visualization, they use it for manifestation. Although I think that's great, my technique for visualization is more for content creation. If I can see the content already in my mind's eye, then I save a ton of time. It's much more effective to visualize the talk and articulate it, rather than to spend a long time writing notes, building the speech, and then articulating it. Why would I walk from Florida to New York when I could just fly? When I saw a lot of other public speakers taking notes and writing everything down, that's when I asked, is there a better way to do this? Once I asked the brain the question, the brain outputted an answer over leveraging visualization. Therefore, when you're teaching, questions come in clutch.